It's time to play some ass cream. Ogins. You ever wonder why they have the Doritos logo with their loading screen? That's what I think every time it pops up. That is so cool. I love that. Alright. We are going to... do the Discovery Tour. At least a bit of it. So I think it's incredibly wonderful that it even exists. So we're going to take a little tour. And as far as like ancient cultures go, man, it doesn't get much cooler than ancient Egypt. Not knocking, Japan or Germany or, there are lots of cultures out there that have incredibly interesting histories. But I have a kind of a special affinity for Egypt. So. With content curated by Egyptologists. Yeah, that's right. And hundreds of images sourced from museums, libraries around the world, we hope to share with you this passion that inhabited us for the 4 years it took to develop Assassin's Creed Origins.
Welcome to Discovery Tour by Assassin's Creed, Ancient Egypt.
Guided tours will take you through majestic landmarks and acquaint you with ancient Egyptians and their culture. Enjoy the vast panoramas of this beautiful country through the eyes of your eagle, or use an avatar to climb to the very top of the Great Pyramid. Navigate a boat along the banks of the River Nile, or ride a horse across deserts and lush fertile lands. And when a view truly captures your fascination, take a picture using the photo mode and share it with your friends. We hope you enjoy this experience. Say what you will about Ubisoft and their, that's I think that's fucking awesome that we are her. It's been a while since I played the game, so I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. But this is a beautiful, beautiful game. I'm happy we get to play this right. Nope. Start the tour.
Welcome to Alexandria, planning of the city. Alexander's plan to build his great city began with a verse from Homer's Odyssey. There is, in front of Egypt, in the sea with many swells, an island called Pharos. Guided by these clues, Alexander the Great founded his future city at the western end of the Nile Delta. Though Alexander considered this location ideal for his great city, it presented considerable challenges. Too difficult to access during storms, the surrounding swamps threatened disease, and the limestone soil prevented the growth of healthy crops. However, due to the influence of his mentor Aristotle, Alexander the Great recognized that the true value was its strategic emplacement. Alexander knew that in controlling Pelusium to the east, Memphis to the south, and his crowning glory Alexandria to the west, he would create a triangular stronghold, allowing him to control the entire delta while giving him access to the Mediterranean. The Great Walls of Alexandria had a humble beginning. Lacking chalk to outline the future city's foundations, architects were forced to use flour instead. Clouds of migrating birds swept down and ate the flour, erasing the plans. This prompted Alexander to seek guidance from the oracles, who reassured him that his future city was destined to feed a large population. Excavations led by Mahmud Bey el-Falaki in the 19th century revealed that the wall enclosure measured approximately 5.2 kilometers in length and 2.2 kilometers in width. It was roughly 9 meters in height. These formidable ancient walls would resist a number of attacks, including fending off the king of Syria in 169 BCE. It wasn't until 295 CE that they eventually fell to Roman Emperor Diocletian, and this only after 8 months of relentless assault. Alexandria's principal architect, Dinocrates, chose a Hippodamian grid plan. The grid maximized functionality, with wide, straight roads and canals running beneath them. Alexander recognized the military value of the city's design. The wide, parallel streets gave him optimal surveillance of the city, while allowing the unobstructed flow of troops. A central corridor ran from the Mediterranean's north port down to Lake Mareotis to the south. This thoroughfare acted as an unobstructed link for commercial trade and travel between the two ports. Many of the streets were bordered with grand buildings and parks, including Canopic Street, with its impressive gate bordering the eastern end.
Whoa.
Alexandria was most likely built upon an already existing Egyptian village. Upon its completion, the Egyptians reviled the city, refusing to call it by its founder's name. Instead, they called it Raked, the building, as a mark of disdain, which was later Hellenized into Rakotis. Despite this, the name Alexandria would remain.
Welcome to Discovery Tour by Assassin's Creed. You can now explore ancient Egypt at your own pace, or select options to choose a new tour by opening the pause menu. Oh, that's so cool.
Whoa. Welcome to the Serapion of Alexandria.
Fuck out of my way, I'm on a tour.
In a city of numerous magnificent attractions, the Serapion was considered to be the most beautiful temple of Alexandria. Located southwest of the city, on a small hill known as the Acropolis, the sanctuary was constructed during the reign of Ptolemy III, upon foundations which had existed since the reign of Ptolemy I Soter.
Okay. Yeah. Alright. Oh, shit. We can be other people. Back. Let's be Cleopatra. That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. We can be other people. Cleopatra. Everybody knows I'm the queen of the Nile. Not the Nile, the Nile. The river in Egypt. Bunch of motherfuckers. Look at these fucking assholes. Not worshipping me.
Visitors of the Serapion climbed 100 steps to reach the courtyard. Libraries were installed in the porticos surrounding the square building, with its roof and columns adorned with gold and gilded bronze. Pharaohs were generous to the temple, as were several Roman emperors after Egypt's conquest. An inner temple housed the statue of Serapis, dedicated to healing the sick. Since the 26th dynasty, Greeks in Egypt had gradually integrated the Egyptian cult of the Apis bull to their own rituals. With the establishment of the Ptolemaic dynasty, the cult of Apis was further integrated into Greek religion. During his rule, Ptolemy I chose to merge Egyptian and Hellenic gods into a syncretic divinity named Serapis. This name was the result of the amalgamation of Osiris and Apis. With this new deity, the Ptolemaic dynasty managed to accommodate similar belief sets for two different cultures, bringing about a new dynastic cult. Serapis was also associated to other deities, including Asclepius, a Greek god of healing. It is possible that, as with the Serapis Temple of Canopus, the sick would visit this sanctuary, sleeping there overnight in the hopes of being healed within its hallowed halls.
Now I'm a Boyd. Can I die in this mode? Oh, God. Nope. Well, that's going to be awesome for us, guys. All right. Fuck off. Let's see. So much. All right, let's do this one. Groovy. Let's start the tour.
Welcome to the major regions of Egypt.
Oh, sweet. Yo.
Life in ancient Egypt was concentrated along the shores of the Nile and divided into two regions. Lower Egypt was situated on the Nile Delta near the Mediterranean, and Upper Egypt was at the south reaching into Africa. Due to its proximity to the Mediterranean, temperatures in Lower Egypt were less extreme than in Upper Egypt.
Y'all just saw that crocodile snatch up that bird, right? So just so you guys know, that happens in the game proper. That's not just some random thing for the tour. If you guys aren't familiar with this game.
Until 3100 BCE and the unification of Egypt, each region had its own pharaoh and crown. Lower Egypt's crown was red and marked with symbols of papyrus and bees. Upper Egypt's crown was white with symbols of lotus and sedge grass. Both regions had competing major cities, most notably Memphis in Lower Egypt and Thebes in Upper Egypt. There were different religious cults in both regions, each worshipping their own major gods. Many of the temples were designed in such a way as to represent the two regions, and ceremonies often incorporated Upper and Lower Egypt in their rituals.
Look at that. Fucking beautiful.
سامو
Yeah, Necheri.
Let's see if I can't find some Crocs. Let's see if they'll... Because I don't think... I'm pretty sure as long as you're on the tour, nothing can attack you. I don't think anything can mess with you. Yeah, because, normally getting on a soldier's boat here would absolutely start a fight. That's another thing that's great about this mode, is if you literally just want to run around the world and do nothing but explore, like that's exactly what you can do if you want. Oh, come on. Let's do a new avatar. Let's see. Sure. Julius Caesar? Rocking that fucking cape. Look at that. Ugh. The boy pharaoh looks really fucking weird. Let's see. Go to the River Nile.
Hello. It's me, the ruler of Egypt. Gonna get ya. Going to sneak up on these hapless fools.
Welcome to Bringer of Life, the River Nile.
Alright, I'm sorry that dude's a little too creepy. Eh. Just gonna stick with Cleopatra.
The ancient Egyptians called the dark fertile soil of the Nile the Black Lands, and the surrounding desert was referred to as the Red Lands. The dramatic difference of productive land opposed to barren desert had a deep influence on cultural ideology, mythology, and religion. The Nile determined much of Egyptian civilization. For example, the seasonal cycle of the Nile was so consistent that ancient Egyptians created their calendar around it. The flood season, or Akhet, was when the departing floodwaters left arable soil for crops. It was followed by the growing and harvesting seasons, known as Peret and Shemu. These regular seasons, along with abundant wildlife and rich soil, meant that Egypt's denizens were able to nourish themselves and ensure their country's strength in trade. The River Nile, flowing from the south to the north, neatly traversed through both Upper and Lower Egypt. All of Egypt's major cities were built along this narrow ribbon of life. Protected by mountain ranges and deserts which acted as natural barriers to enemies, and sustained by the Nile's plants and wildlife, Egyptian civilization enjoyed economic and cultural prosperity for over 4,000 years. Both ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks referred to the Nile as the river in their respective languages. Stretching a distance of over 6,700 kilometers, the Nile is one of the longest rivers in the world. It flows south to north, spanning 11 countries. The River Nile originates in the region of the Great Subequatorial Lakes, including one of the largest in the world, Lake Victoria near Tanzania. The river flows through African equatorial forests, swamps, volcanic lands, steppes, and deserts, splitting apart for a while and picking up various sediments from each region and carrying them all the way to Egypt. Its main artery, known as the White Nile, rejoins with the Blue Nile in Khartoum. This is where it weaves through rich deposits of silt and nutrients, carrying them along in its wake.
Huh. Well, guys, I think I'm going to cut it off right there. I know I didn't finish this particular tour, but we've been around quite a bit in this little chunk I've shown you. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. Hope you've enjoyed this. Game on.